This is the back of my 2020 Rubicon Jeep, and what you're looking at is the Goose Gear system, and I have the covers or the doors removed, and at the very back right here is a single compartment, and that is an area that I access quite often. The other ones up front, they have doors right behind the driver and passenger. However, you can access from the sides up there, so it's pretty easy, although they have doors on the top. But the back one here, that is an enclosed system. So I like putting my Dometic freezer just to the left of this. So right there, that is basically you put stuff in there and you can't get to it unless you take the door off. You have to take the door off. So I put the Dometic fridge freezer on the left-hand side. So another consideration in the back is where you place your Dometic freezer. I place it here. The footprint is small, and one thing you have to think about is if I try to put it on the right-hand side, then there is a door there, right here, and I can't access it if I put the freezer over there. So that is a concern. Think about it. And the other thing I have to think about also is when I put the Dometic freezer there is that you have this plug-in, and this is your 12 volt, and this is the end where it plugs into the Dometic. And if I put it over on the right-hand side, then I'd have to figure out how to reroute that wire over there. Whereas if I just put the Dometic freezer on the driver's side right there, then I can just run the wire, plug it in, and then run the wire down on the left-hand side. And that's a 12 volt DC plug-in, just like a cigarette lighter. And it's got about a 3.5 inch footprint. Once you plug it in, it just sticks out, and there's no flexibility to it at all. So you have to be careful, like where you put your Dometic freezer. You don't want it sliding up and then catching the plug right there, because it'll damage that. So just some things to think about. I throw the wire down on the left-hand side when I put the freezer down, so I tuck it in right there, and it works very well. And then I just take up the slack. And so it's worked out for me pretty well over the last couple of years, having the freezer fridge on the left-hand side. And then when I come to a campsite, I just unplug. And I have a 500 Goal Zero that I have in the back, and I plug into that. And so having it on the left-hand side, it works really well. So, and having that Goal Zero too. This is the Dometic CFX 40. It's a 2-compartment system. You have in this big area right here on the left-hand side. That's got a wire basket in it. That's the freezer, and this is the refrigerator. You can also make them both freezer units. The wire basket unit comes out. It's got a little plug in the center of the freezer unit only, so when you're washing it, the water will drain out through the bottom. So here I have the freezer fridge, and it's in this little kind of like a outer shell, and these are the sides of the outer shell, and then I already put the front on. And then this is the back right here. I'm going to raise that up, and there's a little Velcro, and so I undo the Velcro, lift the handle, and then put the Velcro back, and it snugs that end up right there. And then there's 2 zippers on the rear. Yeah, the plug-ins down below. Tighten this Velcro up a little bit. And then here's 1 zipper on one side, and it just goes, up. And then here's a zipper on the other side, so there's just 2 zippers on the back end. And then you have these Velcro little square tabs on the top, 3 on the left and 3 on the right. Little pockets down below. And let me show you the front here. Those are the fans for the motor. You don't want to put anything in front of those. or occlude those. Otherwise, you'll destroy your motor there, your fan motor. And then right up here, I'm doing the same thing I did in the back. Take the Velcro and adjust it. And then it snugs down, and you have a enclosure there that keeps your Dometic freezer fridge even cooler. And your motors don't have to run as long. And it's been working great, especially in hot climates like Utah. And then you have a panel there where you can do all your adjustments. There's a clear plastic right there. So it's been working great. And I'm going to put it in the Jeep and show you how I rig it up and where I put it. So here's the freeze, and these are little quarter 20 eye hooks, and in the Goose Gear system that I'm using, these work great. I just put it on the corner over here. You've got 4 quarter 20 holes that Goose Gear pre-drills, and the best place that I find to use them is not those 2 that I'm pointing at, but right where I'm pointing at now. I'm putting them in. By doing that, I have a little bit more space between the cooler right there and the Jeep door. And also when I plug it in right there into the side, the cigarette lighter, it's the freezer it has a good distance away from that connections. So when I tighten the Dometic down, it's not going to damage that plug. And it works really well being in the footprint where I put it on the driver's side. And that's again because I don't have any kind of door or panel that I need to access underneath, and it works out really great. Plus the fans right there, that's the front fan, they're clear, and the fan on the right and the left, they stay clear too. So I take another eye bolt. Again, they're quarter 20 thread, and those things work great. I've connected river straps to those and secured all kinds of equipment down into the Goose Gear system, and I've never had a problem. They stay pretty tight. And these are the straps that come with the Dometic freezer, and they're river straps, and I'll connect one here on the left and just cinch them down. I find that putting them through the handle there, because that handle on the Dometic freezer is like built really rugged. It's bomb-proof. So you're definitely going to get a secure fit wrapping them around the eye hook and in the handle, and the freezer won't go anywhere. And then in the beginning, I just loosely tighten them, and I go to the back side, the other side of the freezer, and do the other one, and then I just position the freezer, kind of adjust it around, push it back or forward a little bit, just to get the position that I want for that cord right there, to give it a good distance. And that little cord right there that you put into the cigarette lighter, just be sure that you don't damage it. And that's by other things too. So yeah, it works pretty good. And you can put other stuff right in front of it. You could put like a water jug, or you could put like a Gold Zero 500 down there, which I do from time to time. But one thing is, you definitely want to make sure that you do not put anything in front of the fans on the Dometic. The right, left, and the front one right there. So yep, it works great. And then I have space down through the middle of the Dometic freezer and my storage containers, where I could put a Gold Zero panel. And to give you an idea of the setup, just at the very rear of my Jeep, this is a 2020 Rubicon 4-door. So again, I have the Dometic there on the left-hand side, on the driver's side. And I afford, by doing this, I can still put some equipment right there at the back end. And then there's a space right there for my Goal Zero solar panel. And then I have, just as an example, 2 front runner storage cases. And then this is the Lifesaver jerry can. It's a 4.9 gallon water container. And then I use a strap just to secure it because I don't want it falling out of the Jeep. Like if you're at an angle or something like that, and on a hill, I always use a rear strap and put it right around the handle. And it's pretty secure back there. So this is the best, for me, the best configuration that I've come up with over the last 2 years. And it works great. I have the stove and the dry food in the very back. So I just remove the Lifesaver container, and then I can get at the 2 front runner containers, and then I can also get at my food storage right there. And then right there, I can put another water bottle, or I can put a Goal Zero 500 battery right there, and it fits perfectly.